Alrighty then. Hey, this is Wentus yet again, and I'm going to be continuing my Let's Play of Persona 3 FES. Last time, we were told about Tartarus, and we joined the SEES group. I'm not even going to pretend I know what SEES stands for, but I don't know, I could put that down in the description or something like that. Either way, though, that's not important. Last time we joined them and came here to Tartarus for the first time. This time, we're going to be going over what combat is in this game. I've already gone over the basics of it during the tutorial, but there's some more important details and some other particular things that I need to go over. Either way, though, one other thing I wanted to go over before we head up there is the menu. Now, here you can see various things. You can see I'm level 2, how much SP and SP you have, HP and SP you have. Our status, which is good. Status is based on how we do when we sleep. That will be explained later on. You get to choose things before you go to bed, and it can affect your status, which affects how you are in Tartarus. We also have Orpheus with us of the Full Arcana, and we can see how much yen we have. Now, our skills we have are Augie and Bash right now. However, once we're up higher, we could see the skills that you... Actually, we can't see the skills that Yukari and Junpei have. Interesting. But we can see their status here. Under items, we can see any items we picked up, of course, but currently we only have Mad Bull. And as you see, we can switch over to equip items and key items. Personas, we only have Orpheus with us right now. Our equipment is still basic as well, although I should mention I am using a one-handed sword in the form of a rapier. However, Junpei uses a two-handed sword, which is a bit different. Status, we can check everything here, including our academics, charm, and courage. Social links, we only have the Full Arcana right now, which you can see details about every member of that group. And, of course, here we have system settings, but there's one other important thing here. Here you can look on the calendar and see what's coming up. You can see the phases of the moon, you can see special holidays. If the numbers are in red, that means you have the day off from school. And you can see quests, which will come up later. Fusion spells, which are something I'll explain entirely differently later. And, more importantly, the dictionary. This will explain definitions of everything in this game in case you ever forget. So if you're playing along and you feel like you've forgotten something, be sure to go here. I never knew about this on my first run, so I forgot about a lot of details. Oh, and that's back to title screen. I thought that was back to the next page. Either way, though, that is everything involving the menu. I will probably not explain any of that ever again. Let's go ahead into Tartarus. Now, we're not going to be going very deep today, but I think we'll run into just a couple of shadows along the way.
So, this is it, huh?
I hope I don't get lost.
Well, it is a labyrinth after all.
Can you all hear me?
Whoa, is that you, Senpai?
I'll be providing audio backup from here on out.
Wait, you mean you can see inside here?
It's my persona's ability.
So she has the ability to see where we are and what's around us, as well as communicate with us using her persona.
I'd like to join you, but the structure of Tartarus changes from day to day. That's why outside support is imperative.
Makes sense.
Well, that makes me feel a whole lot better.
Now, based on your current location, you can expect to encounter enemies at any minute. They shouldn't be too tough, but proceed with caution.
Got it.
Practice makes perfect.
Right.
Got it.
Now. Oh.
Why is she always like that?
Bit more hostility. Yes. Now, one thing that they mentioned there is that the structure of Tartarus changes from day to day. That's not exactly correct. The structure of Tartarus's floors changes every time you enter the room. So let's say if I were to go back to the first floor, I could actually just come back here and it would be a completely different floor. Also to mention, in battle, if anyone goes down, they can be revived, except for me. If I go down, it's game over. Right there, you have to revert to your last save, so keep that in mind. So let's take a look around. You can see there's a map there, and... Phone! I'm just ignoring that call. So, medicine there. So yeah, that was essentially a treasure box, which can get us various things. Medicine will restore a bit of HP. There we have a shadow. Now, whenever you want to get into a battle with a shadow, as you can see, it's facing away from us right now. You want to run up behind it before it can spot you, and hit it in the back. You can press X to use your weapon, and you can get the first strike if you do this. On the other hand, if the shadow hits you first, then it can get the first strike.
Informed me about your power, but nevertheless, you have minimal combat experience. Would you like me to explain the basics of battle?
Minimal combat experience. I have played through this game several times, and I have played through Persona 4 as well. I know the combat inside and out.
Okay, then I want you to defeat the enemy before you.
Kind of skipping over that. So, here's where things actually get important. Now, I went over what skills and attacks were before and the wait option, and this is a guaranteed battle so we can't escape from it. However, this is an enemy we can normally escape from. Again, we can't change personas yet, but we could do that, but that's not important yet. Tactics is something new to us. Now, we can tell all of our members to do a specific thing, or we can assign individual members. Now, you can say act freely, they'll do whatever their AI tells them to do. Heal and support, they'll prioritize healing if they can. Not all people can heal, like Junpei can't heal. But they will use support skills, such as things that will buff and debuff the enemies as well if they don't have any sort of healing. Or we can assign a target, which means they will attack only one enemy instead of a random one from the group. Or tell them to do nothing. Later on, we'll have more options, that's all we got for now. Now, that support thing for Mitsuru, you can actually access by pressing L1. She can scan enemies.
Roger. I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
However, we don't have time to wait for that. Well, we do technically, but what I want to say is that I'm going to be doing something kind of special in this series. In my last attempt at this, I did it very differently. Here's what I'm going to be doing this time. As you can see on screen right now, there is a little menu popping up. That menu should be telling you the enemy's level, which, by the way, level means what the average level of the party should be to fight these things. And of course, on that, it'll also be having the weakness up there. I can't actually see this on screen, of course. I'm explaining this in my live commentary, but it'll pop up with the enemy's information whenever we run into a new enemy. And that's about all there is to it. It'll show what things it's weak to. And weaknesses are very important in this game. Now that allows me to go over this. This deals strike damage. Our base attack with the sword deals slash damage. Augie deals fire damage. And I mentioned Garu from Yukari deals wind damage, and her bow deals pierce damage. There's all different types of damage, all different damage types across the board in this game. I'm going to be explaining those right now, and I'm going to be showing the icons that appear on the weakness menu to explain this as well. First of all, there is slash damage, and this is the icon for that. Slash damage is done with swords and a few different persona abilities similar to Bash, but with slash damage. Then there's pierce damage, like Yukari's bow, and again there are persona attacks that do that as well. Then there is strike damage, which is more like punching, hitting with a blunt object, and of course, Bash is strike damage as well. Those are the three types of physical damage. Physical damage can get what's called a critical. There's a percentage chance that you will, when hitting an enemy, and this applies for regular attacks as well, that you will get what's called a critical, which will knock down the enemy and allow you to attack again. Of course, it's unreliable unless the enemy is weak to that particular thing, so otherwise it's just random chance. Next up are magic abilities, the basic magic abilities. Fire, which of course Augie does. Then there's ice, which is called Bufu. Then there's electricity, which is called Zio. And finally there is wind, which is called Garu. These are all magic abilities. They cost SP to use, and they deal elemental damage. They can never crit, but they can hit weaknesses, so they are very important to use, and they're what I typically use the most in this game. Then there are 3 more types of damage after that. A lot of people forget to mention the final type of damage, which is damage type number, I want to say it's like 9 or something like that. Either way, first of all, there is light damage. Light damage actually isn't damage, technically. You see, light and darkness spells, which is the other type, are 2 sides of the same coin. You see, what they do is they have a percentage chance to one-hit kill any enemy, unless they are immune to light or darkness. And of course, if they are weak to it, and you manage to kill them with an instant death light spell, for example, then you get a once more off of that, which allows you to attack again, even though it was an instant kill instead of technically knocking the enemy down. Now, the final type of damage is almighty damage. Almighty damage isn't even listed when you scan for weaknesses or anything like that, and it only comes up with a very select few situations. But almighty damage typically can't be resisted by anything. There's no way of reflecting the damage, no way of absorbing the damage, and that's all there is to it. So, yeah, almighty damage is a very special type of damage. However, there are a select few enemies in the game who do resist almighty damage, and it will not tell you that. I will be listing those enemies specifically, even though most places do not. So, that's the complexities of combat in this game, and allow me to show you what weaknesses actually do. Also, one last thing, actually. I will be showing menus other than weaknesses. I will tell you if an enemy is resistant to an element, absorbs an element, which means they heal from getting hit by it, reflects an element, which means they'll hit you with it if you attack them with it, or if they block an element, which means that it'll just do nothing to them. I'll be listing all of that in the little menus that pop up every time we see an enemy for the first time. Now, the Cowardly Maya, finally actually getting into real combat. Sorry about that, that was a lot of talking, but it all needed to be explained. Cowardly Maya is weak to fire, so I'm going to use Augie on it to show this. If there were another one with it, then we could attack again.
Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
And as you can see, it's knocked down. When all enemies are knocked down, we can do what's called an all-out attack. This is a form of almighty damage. If we choose to say yes, then all of our standing party members will attack and deal a lot of damage to the enemies.
Complete victory. Great job.
And that got us a Snuff Soul, which restores SP. But yes, that is the basics of combat. You really want to try to knock down enemies as much as possible, but keep in mind something. If you knock down your enemies like that, and you choose not to do an all-out attack, they will stay down. You see, whenever an enemy is knocked down, they basically lose a turn. However, if they're hit again while they're knocked down, they'll get back up and gain their turn again, so the all-out attack gets them back up. Very important to keep track of that because that will be a huge factor in combat. Also on top of that, when enemies are knocked down, they take increased damage. Man, that combat explanation was a mouthful, but all of it's really available to us right now, so it's very important to go over. Either way though, I think that'll be it for now. Now let's continue to explore the floor. As you see, there are the stairs. Oh, it's a shame. I didn't realize we actually couldn't go any higher today. I forgot about that. But yes, we can't go any higher. Typically, we could go up to the next floor, and believe me, there are quite a few floors to this place. But yes, if they get the first hit in, they will get a full turn before we do. So we want to strike them from behind first, and we will get a full turn before they do. This is what's called a first strike. Or an... Oh, it didn't give us the advantage, actually.
Now's a good time for me to explain about attack properties.
Okay,
Want to know more?
attack properties, I just went over all of that in the form of all the different elements and weaknesses and all that blah blah blah. We already heard it. So, here I'll show that you can actually get what's called a once more, though. As you can see, when I hit that enemy,
The enemy is vulnerable.
I get the chance to attack again. As long as you hit a weakness or get a critical, you will get a once more. So, this allows me to attack again, and therefore be able to take out that other enemy.
Yes, the enemy is vulnerable. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
And thus, we get another all-out attack, making combat much more simple. As long as you get the first strike, you can usually hit every enemy weakness before anything goes wrong. Got a revival beat out of that. That will restore an enemy that's been, or restore an ally that has been knocked down to half HP. So let's go ahead and move deeper into Tartarus. Yes, always keep your eyes on the map because Mitsuru will tell you when there's a shadow nearby. It can almost see us. Oh, it spotted us. Oh, it can't move beyond that area. Interesting. Typically, enemies will chase you for quite some time. Let's see if we can't just ignore him. Oh, pfft. I actually never tried that before. I was wondering what would happen. Wait. Did it just... Why did it do the fade effect? Oh, well, he's still aggroed on us. Well, I guess we're not getting an advantage in this fight. Looks like it's just more Cowardly Mayas.
Were you able to exploit the enemy's weakness in the last battle?
Yes, I was.
If you didn't already notice. would you
Yes,
like
additional
more?
attacks. I already went over this.
Then
So let's just go ahead and take these guys out. I should mention, in the future, if there's not a new enemy in battle, I will cut out the battle just because it'd be kind of pointless, unless there's some sort of special feature. Also, I should mention, where it had the eyes there, and Minato said Orpheus, that means that you have hit the enemy's weakness. So even if you don't know the enemy's weakness, like right now you may notice this is still a question mark, that means Mitsuru didn't finish scanning, so we don't actually know the enemy's weakness, except for from memory. So if you don't know the enemy's weakness though, or if you want to know that you got a critical, always watch for the eyes showing up there. That means that you got a critical or hit a weakness without knowing it, typically. Or rather, that's just what shows up sometimes when you hit a weakness.
Here's a chance. Let's get him. Get back here, you son.
I think that's going to be our last fight for this particular trip, but that explains everything about combat.
Potential to grow even stronger.
Now, when she says that, that means shuffle time has appeared. Yes, mysterious cards appear in our mind, and this is what Igor's talking about. Now you may notice there are different symbols on them. One surrounded in gold with a picture of a creature on it. That is Pixie. It is another persona. If we choose that one, we will gain access to the persona Pixie, and we can swap between it in battle. Pixie is mostly a healer, but I would like to have it because I'm thinking I want to get a 100% completed compendium in this run, but at the very least I'd like to try to get every persona possible. But yes, after battle you'll occasionally get shuffle time. There's no guarantee on it, but it tends to happen if you manage to win battles skillfully, quote unquote, which means to basically win with an all-out attack or hit their weaknesses repeatedly. Now you may notice that they shuffle around. That's why it's called shuffle time. Now I am going to choose Pixie, of course, but I should explain the yellow cards are coins, which will increase the money you receive from battle, and the green cards are wands, which will increase the experience you gain from battle. So all very important information. But we got another level up, and it looks like it's just us, no one else. Oh wait, no.
Yes! My skill level has increased.
Forgot that in this game,
Da-da-da-da. Junpei is leveled up.
your party members alert you that they've leveled up as soon as combat ends. So let's go ahead and move on through here. Feeling fine? Oh yes, we can use healing items, but that is completely unnecessary. And of course, in between combat, we can ask our party members to heal us. So as you see here, I can request healing, and she'll heal everyone in the party up. Of course, if we don't need healing, she'll refuse. Now I'd like for that enemy to turn away from us. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and hit him. More Mayas.
There is a better way to defeat all of your enemies in battle than to attack them. You can perform.
Yes, I'm very aware of this. You told me to hit weaknesses. Of course I would know what an all-out attack is by now. The tutorials in this game are not the best, but at least it's important to go over this information in case you've never experienced the game before. Realistically, it should have said when you were told to hit a weakness, it should have just had you do it, and then told what an all-out attack was then. But, oh well. As you see, we're starting to run low on SP, though. If we run out, then we would be in trouble. But of course, tonight, I am being completely... I don't care how much SP I use, just because I have more than enough.
Wisely chosen attack. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
But yeah, this is just going to be the exception to the rule. I normally won't be using this much SP just traversing Tartarus, because I wouldn't want to be wasteful. You can, of course, restore all of your SP by returning to the first floor, but... Also, I'm going to be going for the wand since we already have Pixie. Choosing the same persona again will just cause it to fade and waste the shuffle time. Yep, we got, as you see, 24 experience from that, which I assume we would have gotten around 20 since it's about 5 experience per Maya, but we got 4 more than that, so that's about, what, 20% increase? Something like that.
Yes!
Oh, wow, they both got level up. That's right, they were level 1 while we were level 2, so that explains it. But yep, we just need to find an access point to be able to get out of here. Oh, and this is also another important thing. We can tell our party members to split up and look for things. If they split up, shadows will attack them and they will be able to get into combat by themselves. The AI isn't the best at this and they'll usually take a fair amount of damage doing so. However, if we said priority defeat shadows, they'll actually fight the shadows instead of going out of their way for treasure chests and try in order to clear the floor. This is a good way to grind, but I rarely do it. I'm not going to be doing this now because I find it more annoying. What? Oh, we're required to issue the order to split up. That's annoying. Oh, it even forced me to go back. Okay, fine. Split up. Split up and look for clues, gangs. Now, get back here.
Everyone, return to
There we go. Got through the tutorial, and I don't want them actually leaving, because if there were shadows, then I don't want them getting into combat without me. There's the access point, but I want to see what's around that way to see if there's a treasure chest. Now, yes, I'm aware that having my allies split up would be a way of getting these treasures otherwise, but I prefer to explore Tartarus myself, just in case there are things that... Well, there's rarely things that they wouldn't find, but... I don't know. I don't like splitting up at all. It's just not my style, so I avoid doing it. However, I should mention, if your allies do find treasures, whenever you regroup, they will give the treasures to you. And of course, when they find access point, they'll give you the option to use it. So, yes, we can choose. What this does is it basically lets us teleport to the first floor. It's a one-way ticket though, so there's no going back. Keep that in mind. And that returns us to this.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, how was it?
It's no problem.
I see. Well, if you gained confidence, that's the best thing you could have achieved.
Wow, I never knew I had that kind of power.
Junpei, you literally did nothing. I took out every enemy. Well, you participated in all-out attacks.
We kicked some ass. But damn, I'm beat.
That's because you were bouncing around like a little kid.
Yeah, you better be ready. Next time we come in here, we're going to be doing a lot more than just one floor of Tartarus. You can expect that.
Yeah, you look pretty tired yourself, Yucatan.
I'm still trying to catch my breath, actually.
That's the effect of the dark hour. You'll become fatigued more easily.
Yes, and also I want to point out one other thing. When exploring Tartarus, it's not really just an hour. You have as much time as you want in here.
Don't worry, though. You'll adapt. But I'm surprised. You all did much better than I expected. At this rate, they'll catch up to you in no time, Akihiko.
We'll see about that.
As you can see here, we've gained another rank in the Fool Arcana. This means we are now rank 2. The social links max out at rank 10, so I should mention that. Well, that's that. Everyone else has left the party. As you can see, it's only our face down there. However, I don't think we're allowed to actually do anything further today. Either way, though, we're going to be heading home. When we return to the dorm, the dark hour immediately ends and it moves on to the next day. But that was definitely interesting experiencing that. I'm sorry if that was really just an information dump for you guys, but I really did have to go over all that. It was very important. Yeah. Weren't you the one talking about our teachers? Junpei? Junpei's being a bro. He's spraying the rumors like I asked him to. Nice to meet you, Kenji.
That concludes the main portion of today's assembly. Next, we'll hear a word from the Student Council.
Oh, Mitsuru's on stage.
Please welcome the new president, Mitsuru Kirijo, from Class 3D.
Thank you.
So, she did get elected. Well, I guess she is the most popular girl in school.
Yukata, you really need to learn to mask that jealousy.
You can say that again. There's like some kind of aura around her. Besides, this school's owned by the Kirijo group, right?
Yeah, I try not to think about that.
As I begin my term as Student Council President, I'd like to share with you my vision for this coming year. It is my firm belief that each of us must accept the responsibility of bettering our school. However, change cannot occur without sustained effort and an unprecedented level of commitment. That is why we must restructure our daily lives to accommodate this lofty goal. I'd like each of you to dig deeply into your well of motivation and reevaluate your convictions. To imagine a bold new future without losing sight of the realities around you. That is the key. I'm certain that many of you have your own visions of the future. For us to reap the full benefits of our education, your participation, ideas, and enthusiasm are essential. Thank you.
Well, that was a hell of a lot better than the school principal.
Dang, that was freaking amazing.
She must be experienced with public speaking. Speaking?
So, do you have any idea what you just said?
No clue.
Me neither. We live in the same dorm, but it's like we're on different planets.
Say that again.
Man, if she asks for my opinion, I don't know what I'll say.
Say it was good. Meiji era. Sorry. One thing I should mention, I'm familiar with Japanese pronunciation somewhat, but when it's spelled out in English characters, it kind of... I don't know, I'm dyslexic, so it's really weird for me to read it. Either way, though, I guess we'll just move along. I guess that would be pretty boring going over the same novels again and again and again. Ugh. Isolated cloud suspension. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, feeling pretty tired hearing that. But, again, it's better to stay awake. Oh, she's talking to Kenji. Ooh, that sucks for him. And a slice of cake, wow. Like last time. Wow. The fact that this is... Well, I guess that probably happened while we were away, asleep. But I guess Kenji already had to buy Miss Toriumi cake. But yes, for staying up, we get more academics, which... Academics is the hardest stat to max in the game. Courage is the easy... No, actually, I'd say that... Courage is the first you should max, but it's not the easiest to do. But yeah. But yes. As of today, the gameplay of this has truly started. It's not just going to be all scripted anymore. It's not going to be all cutscenes. We get to have choices now. This is where the real meat of the gameplay starts. You can establish social links and spend time with different individuals. It is really nice to do so. Alright, now, let's see what we can do. Well, first we can take a look around the room. I should mention, typically there will be a student here to allow you to go around to different areas of town. Let's see, here's a guy that's dressed up in sports stuff. Let's see what he has to say. Not a bad idea. I wonder what sports teams at this school are like. Well, let's go ahead and head out. Now, this is what our school is like. Not really much to see over here. Let's see, I believe this is the... Yep, it's PA room. Student council. Bathrooms. Bathrooms are actually important because I should mention, on nights that you go to Tartarus, you can actually get tired. And there are other ways to get tired as well from basically just losing sleep. When you do this, you can choose to go to the bathroom in order to recover from your tired condition. But doing so is just one way of doing it. The other way is, at night, you can choose to sleep early, which will almost guarantee you to get untired. Untired? Is that really a word? Either way, though, there's a few other things I should show off. Let's see, I always forget what's down this hallway. Let's see, the home ec room, I believe that'll be important later. Music room, more music room, and art room. But yeah, still not much over here. If we went up those stairs, we'd be up by where our classroom was. I believe through those doors is the sports building. Kind of bothers me that there's no skip travel in this game. In Persona 4 Golden, there was a way to just press square and you could choose to skip travel to wherever you wanted. But here you walk through everything, just about. Either way, though, if we head down this way, we can see here's where the teacher's lounge was, I believe it was, and the library. We can choose to spend time at the library after school, and that will massively boost our academics. But there are so many other things that we need to do that are far more important. For now, though, let's go ahead and head out the front door.
Look! It's Akihiko-senpai! Where? Oh, there he is!
Seems like he's not too fond of being fawned over by girls. Not too fond of being fawned over. Huh. Didn't mean that.
Have you noticed how popular Akihiko-san is with the ladies? Man, take a look at that.
By the way, when it said you can do whatever you want from now on, technically today it's a scripted scene as well. So, not really much we can do about that, but we got to walk around the school a bit. Tomorrow is when we actually get to have full choices.
I didn't used to talk to him much, but now I've got a good excuse.
Maybe he can introduce you to some of those girls.
I know he's the captain of the boxing team, but who would have thought he'd be such a chick magnet? I mean, come on. You don't even see girls flock like that on TV. I wonder where they're going.
And usually I only see them flock like that in video games.
Wait for us!
Hey, are you guys free this afternoon?
4?
Hell yeah! What you got in mind?
I want the two of you to meet me at Bologna Mall.
Bologna Mall. That's an area I believe we just passed by on one of our days home before, but yeah, I can meet you there.
You know where it is, right? I'll be at the police station.
Alright.
See you there.
See ya.
The police station? You mean we're not hanging out with your friends?
Who, these girls? I don't even know their names. They talk so much they give me a headache.
Ouch.
Anyway, I'm gonna head out. Don't keep me waiting.
That was a bit rude, Akihiko. Feel sorry for them.
Oh, why can't he be more friendly? But that's what makes him so cool.
I guess some girls find that attractive.
Man, how can you not know their names? I mean, seriously, just look at them. Ah, well, let's go.
Guess he just takes things for granted. Why didn't we just walk with him? And I think it's like a train over to Bologna Mall too, so yeah, we're bound to be on the same train. And also, this is the only time I can think of in the entire game where a party member follows you outside of the dark hour. But yes, we can choose to go to any area in town here. Bologna Mall is over there, and I guess it's not a train right away, it's just a walk. Port Island Station we passed by a couple times, as well as Iwatodai Station, and Naganaki Shrine, and of course we can return to the dorm room. If you go back to the dorm room though, it'll instantly skip to evening, so you lose your after school time. Don't ever do that, it's a terrible idea. Either way, we're off to Bologna Mall. As you can see around here, there are various things to take a look at. Game Panic, we will be spending a lot of time there. I don't think this building actually does anything. Pharmacy, you can stock up on medicine and revival beads there. The antique shop, which is closed currently. The karaoke. Now, I want to point out, this is going to happen throughout this Let's Play. I have a number of people that say karaoke that I know, and a number of people that I know that say karaoke. I will go back and forth between saying each, and I will probably catch myself every single time. This also looks very blue under the stairs here. There's a police station. This building doesn't actually do anything. Here we have a coffee shop. You can actually spend time here after school to boost your charm, but it costs yen. Same thing with the karaoke place. In the evenings, you can go there in order to boost your courage. Escapade is a club that we can't actually do anything at, though. Let's just head to the police station, though, like Akihiko asked.
Thank you, sir. Oh, these are the guys I was talking about earlier.
So Akihiko knows the police. Interesting.
I was waiting for you guys.
He seems pleasant. By pleasant, I mean terrifying.
This is Officer Kurosawa. He helps keep our squad well equipped. And this is from Ikutsuki-san.
Really? Sweet!
5,000 yen, 50 bucks basically. Not bad.
You can't fight empty-handed, so find something you like. Officer Kurosawa has connections, but these things still cost money.
Fair enough.
Of course they do. Nothing in life is free.
I realize that.
Still appreciate the help. It's nice to have a weapons dealer. I imagine in Japan especially, they're very uptight about even letting their officers have guns. So, must not be easy.
Well, I'll see you later. Thanks again.
I've been informed about you two. My job is to maintain peace in this city, regardless of the circumstances. I'm just an ordinary police officer, but it doesn't take a genius to know something strange is going on here. I'm only doing what I think is right.
Fair enough. Okay, so we can buy weapons and armor here. Armor, I should say, isn't actually all that important, but it does have something very interesting about this. As you see, it does increase defense, but defense is not what we're most interested in. As you can see, it all says plus unknown effect. When you buy things from the store, you don't know what you're going to get for an effect. The effects are what are most important on equipment. There'll be things like resist fire, resist ice, or evade ice, having a higher chance of dodging. Those things are very important, but the actual defense stat doesn't actually do that much, so in that sense armor is useless, but the effects on it are very valuable. Because of that though, I almost never buy armor here. As for weapons though, as you can see we have a two-handed, I believe this is a two-handed sword. Yeah, this is a two-handed sword which Junpei can use. Junpei can only use two-handed swords, but you can see it increases his crit rate a bit. Here we have a one-handed sword that's an upgrade for me, but has an unknown effect. And a short bow for Yukari that is also having an unknown effect. Now I should mention, Yukari can only use a bow, Junpei can only use a two-hand sword, we can use any weapon in this game, so that's something special. However, I believe we're the only one who can use one-handed swords, so I always stick to that. So yeah, I will rarely switch to a bow for something that I'll be getting into later, but most of the time I'll be sticking with a one-handed sword in this game. It's just my preferred weapon. However, you guys, if you're playing along, you can use whatever you want. But I will not be buying any weapons here, because usually you can actually find weapons in Tartarus. What? You're actually in a bad mood about receiving 5,000 yen? Seriously, Junpei, it's free money. See ya. Well, now we need to figure out how to spend the evening. You know, I had notes for this. What was I planning on doing? Let's see, today is the 21st. Oh, that's right. I remember now. There's actually something special that this is something I found on a guide online that was interesting that I took notes on. I believe it's at Port Island Station, or is it at the other station? I can't ever remember. Either way, here at Port Island Station, it is this one. There is a movie theater. Every once in a while movies are showing here, and, well, there's usually movies showing, but they're very rarely worth your time to go to, just because all they do is increase stats that are different every day. Now, today, typically there'd be nothing to do except for go home. Or maybe, like, go get some tea or something like that. But, today happens to have a movie that'll increase your courage by 4 points. Which is massive, considering I believe that's somewhere around like 5% of the maximum you need to max out your courage. And courage is what you want to max out first, charm second, academics last. But yeah, this is a huge bonus to your courage to go to this. So it's a huge deal. I said huge a lot. Let's see. Yes, there are several social links that only open up when you have certain ranks in your courage or whatever it may be. So, movie marathon is playing. Want to be more courageous. Yep, it is courage boost this time. But does cost 1,500 yen, so it's not exactly cheap. Actually, that's pretty cheap compared to other boosts in this game. So yes, let's stay and watch some movies. And our courage has increased, but we did not get a rank up from that. However, that was a very large amount of courage that we got comparatively.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you. Uh-huh. Okay, fair enough. So yes, from now on we can talk to Mitsuru any night that we want to go visit Tartarus. Alrighty. And yes, I mentioned we weren't able to leave at night. Now we can leave at night anytime we want, and we have plenty to do in the evenings. But one thing that also is going to be starting now, I'm going to do what I like to call the roundabout. I'll talk to everybody that's here, and I'll show any conversations that are particularly interesting, just in case there are like some hidden conversations that even I don't know about in this game. I'll be able to show them. Otherwise, I'll just suddenly cut here and if there's no conversations at all. So, gonna do that now. Oh. Well, that explains where that apathy syndrome thing we were talking about came from. So when shadows attack people in the night, they become the lost. They stop responding. Interesting. That's actually a good question, Junpei. And actually, that comes to one theory about it. Now, I know there's an official statement about what an evoker is. I haven't found it. I haven't really looked for it. But I always had the theory of personas only really come out, at least in this sense, when you are in a very dire life or death situation, when your emotions are running high. Very few things will actually make your emotions run higher than putting a gun to your head. And the biggest thing is, I always assumed that at the tip of the gun, it applied an electric shock to the head, which gave that sense of fight or flight reaction from pain, combined with the high emotion of pointing a gun at yourself. That's what was always my theory about what an evoker was, and that's why it was able to cause you to summon a persona. Either way, though, looks like we've talked to everybody for tonight, and there's nothing more to do, so we're gonna be ending things off here for tonight. Well, I was going to say this was a bit of a longer episode than usual, but realistically, this is about how long the episodes typically are going to be. It is around 40 minutes. And keep in mind, with 40 minutes being the average, between at least 30 minutes, as much as an hour and a half for episodes, yes, an hour and a half these episodes might run, there's still going to be approximately 100 episodes in this series. I am dead serious the game is that long. And that's with me cutting out a lot of the combat and a lot of unnecessary things. So get ready for a long haul, guys. This is going to be Persona 3. I can't wait to get to it. Seriously, I've been so excited about doing this game. I mentioned before that I've done one other attempt at this game, and I fell off with it. I didn't feel like I was doing it right, and I started to fall off the series. Now that I'm doing it right, it leaves me so excited. And from now on, I'm going to avoid talking about the previous attempt at this because I don't want that to be a center in the commentary. I want this to be a fresh run, fresh experience. Either way, though, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and of course, if you did enjoy and you'd like to support me, the best way you can is by showing your friends these videos. Seriously, it does a lot to help me out. Or if you haven't already and you'd like to see more of my content, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Or don't. Either way, really. This has been Wentus. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when we continue this game of Persona 3 FES. See you then.